Welcome, everyone, to this deep dive. Today, we're looking into the American rock band Evanescence. We've got some interesting info here.
Yeah, and we'll try to make it really clear, simple explanations. Great for listening practice.
Exactly. Think of it as getting to know their story a bit better.
hmm
Okay, so let's start with a quick question for everyone listening. Evanescence was formed in which country? Was it A, Canada, B, the United States, or C, Australia?
What do you think?
The answer is B, the United States.
Yeah.
Specifically, they started in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Right. Way back in 1994. It was initially just Amy Lee, the singer and keyboardist.
And Ben Moody on guitar. Just the two of them at first.
Yeah, just a duo. And they actually put out some early recordings themselves, like EPs, a demo CD.
Yeah.
This was in the late 90s.
Before they were, like, really famous.
Exactly. Kind of building things up.
Then, okay, 2003 happens. Big year for them.
Yeah.
Their first proper studio album comes out.
Fallen. That's the one. Released on Wind Up Records.
And it just, well, it exploded, didn't it?
It really did. I mean, by early 2004, it had already sold, over 4 million copies in the U.S. alone?
Wow. Just in the U.S.?
Yeah. They won 2 Grammy Awards for it.
2 Grammys. That's huge for a debut.
Definitely a massive start.
Okay, speaking of Fallen, here's quiz question number 2. Can you name one of the big hit singles from that album? Was it A, Sweet Child of Mine, B, Bring Me to Life, or C, Wonderwall?
A famous one.
The answer is B, Bring Me to Life. Though, My Immortal was also a huge hit from that album.
Both were massive, yeah. Hard to forget those.
Totally. So after Fallen's success, what came next?
Well, in 2004, they put out their first live album. And a concert DVD, too.
Ah, okay.
It was called Anywhere But Home. And that did pretty well, too. Sold over 1 million copies worldwide.
So showing they had staying power.
Right. And then 2006 rolls around, and we get the second studio album.
The Open Door.
That's the one. Amy Lee co-wrote a lot of that with the guitarist Terry Balsamo, who had joined by then.
And was it successful?
Oh, yeah. Another Grammy nomination, and this one sold over 6 million copies worldwide.
6 million. So even bigger than the first one, globally.
Seems like it, yeah. They definitely weren't just a one-hit wonder kind of band.
For sure. And then things were a bit quiet, maybe? Or lineup changes?
Well, yeah, there were changes.
Yeah.
They sort of regrouped around 2009 to work on new music. The lineup was different. Terry Balsamo was still there, Troy McClawhorn, Tim McCord, Will Hunt.
A full band effort this time.
Exactly. And that led to their third album in 2011, the self-titled one, just Evanescence.
Self-titled, okay.
It was the first one they really wrote together as a band.
Yeah.
Collaboratively.
How did that one do?
Really well. It actually hit #1 on several Billboard charts.
Wow, #1. Okay, great. So let's do our last quiz question. Thinking about their sound overall, what type of music is Evanescence generally classified as? Is it A, pop, B, country, or C, gothic alternative metal and hard rock?
Think about those hits. Bring Me to Life.
The answer is C, gothic alternative metal and hard rock.
Yeah, that description fits well. You've got the heavy guitars, the powerful vocals from Amy Lee. Sometimes it's got that darker, kind of dramatic feel.
Right, so just to recap quickly, they start as a duo, Amy and Ben. Then they become a full band.
Fallen launches them into stardom. Big time.
Then they follow up with more successful albums like The Open Door and the self-titled one.
But we saw the lineup changing over the years, which happens with bands. They even went independent in 2014.
Right, left their record label. They took a bit of a break, but came back for touring in 2015. Amy Lee did some solo stuff too, didn't she?
She did, yeah. Exploring different things. Then the band came back together for Synthesis in 2017.
Ah, Synthesis. That was different, wasn't it? Like orchestral versions?
Yeah, exactly. Reworked versions of their older songs with orchestra and electronic elements. Really interesting project. They even toured it with live orchestras.
That sounds amazing live.
Must have been quite a show. And then most recently, their 5th studio album, The Bitter Truth, came out in 2021.
And that charted well too, right?
Yeah, did well on the charts. It shows they still have a strong fan base.
It's interesting how you mentioned their sound. It's got rock, metal, but also those classical influences, sometimes electronic bits.
Definitely. It seems largely driven by Amy Lee's musical tastes and her songwriting, pulling from different places. Alternative, heavy metal, industrial touches. It's a mix.
And it's clearly worked. We mentioned the Grammys, but they've won other awards too, like Loudwire Music Awards.
And the sales figures are just huge. Almost 32 million albums sold overall.
That's incredible. Puts them right up there with the top-selling hard rock and metal acts.
Absolutely. So maybe something for our listeners to think about. how bands like Evanescence evolve their sound over, decades, but still keep something that feels like them.
Yeah, that core identity. Can you think of other artists maybe who've really changed their style across their careers? It's pretty fascinating to see how music and artists grow.